Why was I able to get on a spinning ride after overcoming emetophobia? Hi, I'm an emetophobia recovery coach, and I am going to tell you why you can overcome emetophobia and it be permanent, never coming back. The true way to overcome emetophobia is first understanding the foundations as to why it's happening. It's nothing crazy. Despite what they've told you, it's nothing out of the blue. It's nothing out from outer space. It's simply a thinking habit. Here's an example. Do you know somebody that is used to being very negative? If you offer solutions, they continue to push back and they say, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, or I don't know. That's because it's a thinking habit. They are used to putting an excuse to every solution. Something like that usually stems from low self-esteem. They don't believe in themselves enough to be able to overcome the difficult thing. Emetophobia is also a thinking habit. We don't have emetophobia like we have ears, like we have eyes, like we have hands. You have moments where you don't think about emetophobia. It feels like you do 24/7 every second of the day, but there are moments when you may even forget about it for about 5 minutes. If that's the case, it's because you're just simply not thinking in an emetophobic way. Once you start getting scared and you start feeling anxious because of maybe you feel nauseous, maybe somebody said something, now you started to behave or think in an emetophobic way. So because I changed my thinking habits, I was able to get on the spinning ride. I had been to Disneyland so many times, but I boycotted going on spinning rides. I also pretty much boycotted going on any rides. I would go and think that I was in control, but in reality, I was still very hypervigilant, trying to make sure that I didn't see anybody be sick and also that I wasn't sick myself. So after I changed how I think, I no longer thought in a negative and helpless way or powerless way when it came to being sick. And even if I had those thoughts or those memories of what it was like, I immediately knew how to shut them down because I learned that those habits were no longer true and they were no longer relevant. So when I went on the spinning ride, I went in expecting to have a good time. So this is where expectations come in. If you believe that you are doing great, but you still struggle with this one thing, where you say, I just can't get myself to go to the grocery store. I can go to the mall, but I can't go to the grocery store. Are you expecting to feel anxious whenever you go to the grocery store? Are you expecting to feel sick, or are you expecting to see somebody sick? If you're going in with an expectation, you are going to create anxiety because your mind is trying to control the outcome of that expectation. Anxiety is nothing more than trying to be in control about something that you feel you don't have control of. There are a lot of things that we don't have control of, but ultimately we have control over our emotions. So going back to the spinning ride, I went in expecting to have a great time. I was not expecting to be anxious. It wasn't even a thought. I didn't go in saying, I am expecting to not feel anxious. I went in saying, I am expecting to have a great time. And so I did. Although, as an adult, going on a spinning ride kind of hits a little bit different if you haven't done it in a while. I did feel a little bit dizzy when I got off, but again, I was not expecting to be sick. And because I was not creating these expectations where I needed to have control over it, I did not create anxiety about feeling dizzy or about what might happen afterwards. So to recap, go in expecting an outcome that is positive whenever you're going to go do something. If you're still expecting to be anxious whenever you go and do something, then you're going to create anxiety because you're already trying to control not being anxious. So trying to control the outcome of something that hasn't even happened yet is going to be creating anxiety. And that's why we have anxiety before we even do anything. So try this. Go in expecting to have a good outcome. Imagine it step by step as much as you want, even to the finest detail. And it creates almost like a checklist in your mind because your mind programs to do everything that you tell it. Going back to that anxiety cycle, if you're expecting to get anxious or not anxious, you're still going to get anxious because anxiety is all that you can think about. And since you're trying to control it, you're going to be anxious about controlling it. So make a checklist of positive things and believe them with all your heart. If you don't believe these things, then they're not going to have any effect. So remember, expectations, keep them as realistic as possible. Is it realistic to be anxious at the grocery store? In reality, no. There's no reason to be anxious at a grocery store. How about at the mall? How about driving? How about in traffic? Realistically, no, there's no reason to be anxious. It's just a matter of perspective. So go in expecting to accomplish the task. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I hope this was helpful. And if you're ready to overcome emetophobia, you can contact me in my bio in my link tree. See you in the next one.